Welcome to Burning Daylight Sports with Matt McKinley, Eric Winkler, and Jake Rehnquist. Join us every Tuesday for betting lines, hot takes, and a whole lot of fun. Oh, welcome back. Another episode of Burning Daylight Sports. We got a hot one coming in. I was really high on talking college football. And the NFL is getting pretty interesting, and I like all of that. But then we got to talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot, and we're all baseball nerds at heart. So we were already like, well, we've been here for a while already, but we were about 5 minutes in on just Hall of Fame baseball. So I figured this is a perfect place to start. We'll save Bo Nix throwing footballs over mountains for a little while. But boy might win himself a Rookie of the Year, huh?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. He's looking. I'm sorry, I caught motion in my eye, and I guess I'm exhausted because it's not Jake walking back to his seat. So I don't know. Bo Nix is proving to be the most consistent.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I think Jaden Daniels probably has a better chance of it, but he has to kind of figure out what's been going on the past couple games. Bo Nix has steadily gotten better every game. You know, he had some issues. He's a rookie for first year starting, the start of the season, but every week he's done something better than he did the week before. And I think that's the key.
Jaden Daniels has really come back down to earth. And Jaden Daniels has really come back down to earth. Bo Nix has been steadily getting better and been kind of on fire here lately. But we'll get back to Bo Nix because he's throwing footballs over mountains. But on the Hall of Fame ballot, I should have planned better and had that up on the screen, but the official ballot came out, and there's some surefire. There's a couple surefire first ballot type guys in here, I think, and some that should be. I did not even look at it from the steroids point of view when just going down through it. And so I was like, Manny Ramirez is obvious first ballot Hall of Famer. But yeah, he had the steroid deal. So I don't know how that's going to play out.
I mean, if they're not putting Bonds in, they're definitely not putting in Manny.
That's true.
But
that means Rodriguez is out too. Alex Rodriguez is out.
But David Ortiz is in.
Right. I don't know, man. Manny, Manny was Manny, so people loved him and people hated him. So it's but nobody could not deny that when Manny was up in the playoffs, it's dangerous. It's fucking dangerous, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's always fun to watch, at least.
Yeah. It's funny. So we're setting up a Hall of Fame episode. It'll be a different episode than we won't cover anything but the Hall of Fame, and it'll probably be at least 3 hours, I would imagine. Just knowing from the people that we're gonna get from us three alone, it could go that. But then we add Aaron and Brad and Tim and Robin. I don't know. We'll see how many we can get lined up. We'll try to do it here in a little while. But the good thing is, as Jake brought up before, we've got a ways until the voting actually happens. So we don't have to do it right away. And baseballreference.com is going to just get a fuckload of traffic here in the next couple of weeks from all these baseball nerds, and I'm gonna be one of them because I've already been on it today. David Wright, me and Rob were arguing about it. I I was questionable on it, and then I said, is Chipper Jones a fair comparison? And then I said, well, of course he's a fair comparison. He's actually a great comparison because we're talking about the Hall of freaking Fame. And I looked up their numbers, and I was like, if Chipper Jones, third baseman, he is a switch hitter, so you got to throw that in there. But he was like double the WAR, and I said, David Wright's a bum. Get him out. And I can't wait to have that conversation with the whole fucking lineup of it. Just and comparisons. We're gonna have numbers. We're gonna have stats, and I think it'd be fun as shit.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It gives me a good an excuse of why I'm on Baseball Reference so much.
Like everybody's on
just because I'm bored.
Everybody's got their own flavor of autism. This one, it all just kind of the streams cross. Baseball was the original autism, I think. It's just so many numbers, and and a lot of dead air on the radio. So you gotta fill dead air, and you got numbers at your beck and call. So I think that's gonna be really fun. But that being said, college football is again pure chaos. The NFL has got a little bit more interesting. Like it's a little more interesting. They're still pretty top heavy and pretty bottom heavy, but that there's some teams that are kind of standing out that I didn't think would be at the beginning of the season. So we got a lot of shit going on there too. There's
also a little bit of surprise teams that aren't too that great. So
yeah, for sure. And then some that like started out great, and like the Saints, take them. They started out great. Carr got hurt. They shit the bed, and then he came back, and then they're just kind of meh. Like they're like more towards bad than good, but they're just kind of there. And
can't expect David Carr to be good for a whole season.
No.
Good and healthy.
We can only have one guy wearing eyeliner at a time, and this is JD Vance's moment. So Derek Carr, step aside.
David Carr might be wearing eyeliner too. We don't know.
Jury's
out on that.
But let's start with college football. I didn't get to watch much sports this weekend. I caught the late NFL games, and then I was kind of just checking scores when I was at work on Saturday, and then I was on the road, and I didn't get to see much. Didn't get my good bets in time, but I did do good on Monday night. So it was altogether not a bad weekend, but I didn't get to watch much. So top 25 scoreboard. Outside of Boise, there's nothing to talk about in the Mountain West. CSU and Wyoming were both off this week, so.
No, they played on Friday.
They did play on Friday. That was last week they were off. Oh yeah.
Like, wait, fuck on. Am I missing a week here? Like, where did that go?
Well, when you beat Wyoming so many times, they get lost in a blur.
This is your second win in 10 years. This is your second win in 10 years.
I tried to pull that one off, but anyways, CSU, I won money on that.
The field.
What's that?
Y'all don't even care enough to rush the field. This is the first win in like 4 straight years.
Dude,
I didn't even rush.
Dude, we're not rushing the field for bro.
Not for Wyoming. I was leading the charge to rush the field when we beat Utah on that goal line stand, and I saw the security guards, like the troopers there, And I looked back and there wasn't anybody within 3 rows of me. I was like, oh, you motherfuckers are hanging me out to dry. I ain't going. Fuck you.
I was like the first person over the edge on like the Nevada bowl game.
Yeah.
In New Mexico.
I was ready to go, and then nobody else was as gung ho as I was, and I was like, fuck you bitches, I ain't going by myself. I've been escorted out of Hughes Stadium before. I didn't want it again.
Out of the stadium, out of the parking lot, whatever.
Yeah, either way. Well, I got escorted out of the parking lot into the stadium holding cell.
I've just been asked to leave, but I was there for that.
Yeah. Oh, fucking rent-a-cops. Anyway, so CSU, what was the final score? I know it was
24-10.
That's right. I know it was over the 9.5 spread that I bet. It was I took it in a teaser and hit the over. And it was a good week to be a CSU Ram, gotta say.
It was nice. I watched like the first half and then switched it over to boxing. Which I should have just stayed.
I watched we had the Mike Tyson fight on, and then I just watched CSU Wyoming on my laptop at the same time. I was dual screening it. And honestly, CSU Wyoming was a little more entertaining. Quite a bit more entertaining. It was a good game, actually.
It was a good game.
Taste. I mean, that's like English people saying what they eat for breakfast is good. All right. It wasn't entertaining. It was painful to watch. Our coach in his first year, I don't know. We should have gone the way of the Kennesaw State Owls and whoever else fired their head coaches this year. Because honest to God, I mean, you're coaching under this guy for 5 years, and you can't figure out how to run his offense with the players who have been running it for years at this point. I mean, what is this? Like, what is this? I'm calling out what they're about to run as they line up. Like when you got fans, when you got students who know your playbook because it is so simple, because you felt you had to dumb it down, you've got a problem. If I can call out what's about to happen because you run the same 6 plays on offense, maybe Colorado State might have noticed that too. Golly.
I'm clipping that bitch right there.
And they'd be happy if they beat Michigan. What is this? This is our game. We don't have a Colorado to be pissed off against. All right. This is our Mountain West showdown, or Rocky Mountain showdown, whatever you call it every year when you lose.
I do love the hierarchy of college football where like CU totally looks down their nose at us, and that's why I hate them so much more than I hate Wyoming. But it's true, we do look down our nose at Wyoming. and I'm sure you guys
at you. It's like we're looking down at each other like this. We're just staring at each other's tits.
I don't know. Is there one lower than you guys?
Montana State.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, fuck Montana State.
Yeah, so it's I love the border war though. Fuck, it's always fun. I like talking shit too. So fuck the Cowboys. We got him.
Go see you.
All right, so Oregon, Wisconsin. It was a close win, but I think that's a good win for Oregon. That's a really good win. Madison's a horrible place to play for a road team. And was it at night?
Yeah, it was at night.
It was at night. Yeah.
Though, because if you remember Ohio State at Wisconsin, Well, Ohio State made Wisconsin look like they didn't know how to play football.
That's true.
Wisconsin really turned it on for Oregon, and Oregon has had some close calls this year. Boise State's not really an inferior opponent, but this year this Wisconsin team is not what it should be.
No, but that's the home field advantage in college because, Wisconsin for whatever reason. It's Oregon's first year in the Big Ten. They're gonna get up, and that place gets just fucking wild. So it makes sense that this was a close game, and it's a good win for Oregon. It's not a flashy win, but for a team that we were saying was too soft for the Big Ten. That's a Big Ten win there.
Yeah,
it was a good one. I mean, I didn't actually catch the end of it. This is during the Jones fight. But I couldn't believe. I bet them to come back. But I was a little scared. Getting pretty scared there.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a Big Ten score, and that's a pretty big Big Ten road win, and so even if Wisconsin's now 5-5, that's a good win. Wisconsin's a really tough place to play, and when they get up for a game, it always turns into these low scoring kind of defensive slugfests.
Yeah, I mean they've always had a pretty good defense, so
yeah,
it's Oregon's not exactly used to playing against good defenses every single week.
No, not at all.
In the Pac-12,
it's usually only in the playoff or in a BCS game. That's the only time they see a really stout defense coming from the Pac-12. But yeah, so that's a good win. They're the team to beat. We'll talk about. We'll go through the scores and kind of talk about how it's gonna the standings shake up, Eric. Yeah, this is kind of where you know more than I've been listening to a little bit and studying, but college football more than I do, so we'll get into that. But Ohio State at Northwestern, that's it
was a fun game. Northwestern, that first quarter, Northwestern seems to be a first quarter team.
Was it cold in Chicago this weekend?
I think it was pretty chilly in Chicago.
And that stadium's right on the lake, right?
Yeah.
So that's a cold bitch up there when the wind's blowing off the lake.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're on the right side of the lake, so it's not quite as cold as if it was on the other side.
Okay. You're a Midwest guy now, so I'll. You're our Midwest expert. I've never been up that way.
I mean, whatever. It's the Midwest. Fucking cold's cold. But.
Yeah, I've been up in Green Bay and coming off the lake up there.
I guess
the wind's coming from lesser Wisconsin. They're rough.
Lesser Wisconsin.
I called it that today, and I was talking to Jill about. We were watching some movie, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's set up here in Canada, right above lesser Wisconsin." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, Michigan, the worst mitten." And I was like, "Oh, I gotta use that tonight."
Oh, see, I just I feel like Wisconsin's the cuck in that situation because the Upper Peninsula is above Wisconsin, and Michigan's like, "No, that's ours."
Hey, we won the UP in a trade, okay?
Either way, it's just like looking down on Wisconsin all the time. It's like, oh yeah, this could be.
Yeah, the way Wisconsin is played, I don't even know if Wisconsin would beat Michigan this year, and that's saying a lot because Michigan is almost as poorly mismanaged as Wyoming, but. With the way that the Lions are playing, the Packers are good, right? The Packers are always going to be good. Yeah. But it's because they've got some guy who keeps stealing from all the poor people in Mississippi and giving it up to Green Bay to buy new players. But
there's a salary cap.
Oh, Brett Favre doesn't care about salary cap. Kids on where? for money, he's got to go somewhere.
He hasn't been there like 16 years.
Oh, I guarantee you, he's funneling money up there.
So, can you imagine if like the roles were flip flopped in Wisconsin and Michigan? So we're like, Wisconsin becomes the automotive capital of America, and Michigan is just like Packer country, and but then like Wisconsin's, they've got the Upper Peninsula, and then like you have the Detroit becomes like Milwaukee. I mean, they're both kind of they're kind of the same cities,
very similar.
That's fucked up.
But nobody ever talks about Milwaukee. They talk about Detroit.
Yeah, because Milwaukee sucks, man.
Okay, Detroit's I'm just saying, but like think roles reversed. Milwaukee's like the gem of the Midwest, and then Detroit's just like another Midwestern city. Just name a Midwestern city.
Cleveland.
Yeah, be funny. And then like everybody across the country is Lions fans, and like Packers fans are just like everybody feels sorry for them,
Yeah,
that'd be wild. It might be no, there's going to be a lot more Lions fans for the next few years, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's kind of sick of the Chiefs winning everything. So
everybody's sick of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Texas over Arkansas. We called this gonna being a good game, Eric. The old school rivalry, and
the only one who cared about that rivalry was Arkansas, but they put up a fight. I mean, that second half, Arkansas. I mean, it was a tie game in the second half, but Texas manages to kind of figure out ways to win. They're eking out victories. I mean, I read about the new college football playoff standings, and I disagree with some of it, namely with the Big Ten being favored so hard. I think, you got teams like Boise State who should be pushed up a little higher. Teams like Indiana who maybe should be favored over Ohio State despite strength of schedule.
It won't matter, though. That'll get worked out.
Yeah. On Saturday, that'll get fixed because Indiana's going to blow those stupid Buckeyes out of the water.
Well, you know what the best thing about this 12-team playoff is? Like all this fucking conversation where nobody knows how it's going to pan out in the end, but it's just like, it's all the scenarios. It's like, it's all the in-between pitch talk that made baseball stats so great. It's just like, what are the scenarios? This guy has gone, 5 for 30 in this particular situation, which makes him like the 5th player of all time to do it.
Well, I guess, I mean, having 12 teams too now, like that last 4 in, it doesn't matter quite as much like what they're seeded, but like you're getting some people that definitely would have never gotten the shot before.
Yeah, well, and then like if the Big 12 shakes out, like I hope, where I mean we can get to that. Let's get through these scores real quick, and then but yeah, Texas over Arkansas, a good game. Yeah, it was. I think they covered the spread. Arkansas did, so it was a good game for them. Penn State over Purdue. Purdue sucks.
Dude, I watched like the first quarter of this. I'm like, all right, I gotta find something else to watch. This is not going to be an interesting game.
Yeah,
no,
Purdue's not a real team.
I've been waiting like about 5 weeks now. I'm like, all right, Purdue's going to upset Oregon. No, they're not. Purdue's going to upset Ohio State. No, they're not. Purdue's going to upset Penn State. No, they're not. Penn State's the weakest top 5 team.
Hands down.
Purdue couldn't even muster to even remotely come close to the spread.
Nah. Yeah, Purdue's terrible. Not a lot of soaking going on in Provo this weekend.
Oh, that one was wild. I didn't see that.
Maybe some hate soaking.
Maybe.
Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, they may have just went out and just gone rogue, but for KU fans, I don't know. Like but the good old Mormon boys of Brigham Young University were not getting their dicks wet after that game. No. And
Oh, it makes me happy.
Me too. I'm just saying, but that's just kind of the beginning of the end for BYU. I won't be surprised if they don't make the playoff.
Well, they've got a test coming up. I think this next coming week they've got Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State, and then CU takes on Kansas. So
Kansas is basically just they're funding terrorism in the Midwest, in the Middle West. They are Middle Western terrorists.
Funding terrorism. That is amazing. I love it. And you know what? I've never ever once in my life rooted for KU, but I'm rooting for them to blow the fuck up CU. I'm just go full jihad on them.
Oh, I mean, I'm half rooting for CU, in part because I hate CSU so much. And to see CSU be successful, I know how much that hurts you. But at the same time, I mean, Kansas, we're talking about how deep the SEC is. Kansas and Texas Tech they've been just a little unlucky. And I mean, It's hard to say that, right? Like not every one-score game is unlucky, but they really are. They are a better team than their record shows, and they are showing it against all of these very good opponents.
Yeah, well, we were talking about them early in the season, and then I remember we were like, oh, what the fuck happened to Kansas? Because they came on really strong at the end of last year, and now we're like, oh, okay, that's you've been hiding it a little bit. Where the fuck have you been? Because we've been expecting this type of play or I was at the beginning of the season from KU, and I really don't hate the Mormons. Like I've got a lot of Mormon friends. But they are so fun to make fun of, and they take
easy.
They take jokes so well too. They really do. But it's so funny to see BYU lose. Mostly because they did that little independent stint for a couple of years, and I was like, oh fuck you.
Fuck him for that, especially leaving the
Mountain West, and then they went independent. I was like, nah, fuck you. Anyway, that's good to see, and it adds more chaos into the mix, and I just you kind of couldn't have asked for a better year for the first year of a 12-team playoff, because it's just. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how it's all going to shake out, and for the first time in a while, like the conference championships actually they all mean something. Not just some conferences mean something. Like every conference champion means something, because the top 4 ranked conference champions get an automatic bid and a bye, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The top 4 do. Right now, sitting, Boise State just knocked out the Big 12 winner.
Ooh.
Yeah. This next game up here had some big implications too about that.
Yeah. Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia. I didn't get to, like I said, I didn't get to watch much of anything, but
I missed this one too. I wish I would have been watching.
Oh no, it's funny. If this was a NFL game, would say this is an absolute butt raping, but in college, this is a pretty relatively close game. It's like it was a solid win for sure.
Well, I mean, the first half's tied, and then you only got
Yeah, but it's
scores. Like that's not that. Yeah,
that's a solid win, but it's not a blowout win. In college, and Georgia, I mean Georgia's still there. I don't know. Well, we'll get through the rest of these. Talk about the conference champion scenarios, but that shit's wild too. Notre Dame over Virginia. Who cares? Independent. I love that so much. I hope Notre Dame doesn't go into a conference. I want them to just never be able to get a automatic bid and a bye like that. Fuck them. That join a conference. Alabama over Mercer. Who cares? Bama's still in the picture. Boise over San Jose. Oh yeah.
I guess so. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're underranked right now for the strength of the Alabama team, but I think a big reason for this is Alabama beat Georgia, who lost to Ole Miss. Ole Miss lost to LSU, who lost to Alabama. It's like watching the show was really weird how they kind of rank everybody, and it's kind of like this who fucked who the worst.
Yeah.
You look like Charlie Day at the end of it with the cigarette and the
I can't remember what show it was on, but someone was talking about like, oh, now you've like before, with the BCS, you kind of like maybe want to have some bigger wins on paper at least, so maybe let the first team stay out longer if you're up big, but now like you want to blow the fuck out of anyone if you can because of how that ranking is gonna settle out at the end.
Isn't it wild that Condoleezza Rice used to be part of that whole, or is she still part of it?
I don't know, maybe.
And that, she was also making the same type of arguments about bombing Iraq as she was about whether Ole Miss had a quality loss against Alabama.
Iraq took some quality losses.
America. Fuck. They did take some quality losses. About 1 million of them, I think. Boston College, SMU is a tank. SMU is just rolling, man.
I've been kind of waiting for them to maybe come back to earth a little bit, but man, they're.
Oh, I want them to win national championship and then get hit with the death penalty again for something wild.
Oh, that's so messed up.
I don't know.
What are you gonna do to get a death penalty now? You can't.
I don't know.
You can pay people now, so it's not that.
It'd have to be something weird. Like I don't want it to be bad, but I want it to be something weird that the NCAA just really doesn't like, and they give them the death penalty again. But they're SMU's a tank. They're kind of in the driver's seat of the ACC, if I'm not mistaken, aren't they?
Yes and no. Miami's got 1 loss. SMU's got 1 loss, and Clemson has 2 losses.
Do they play each other?
No, I don't think Clemson and SMU or SMU and Miami play each other.
SMU's undefeated in conference, though.
Oh, that's right. Their losses against so Miami and Clemson have 1 loss in conference, and then SMU is undefeated because their 1 loss came against BYU.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, that's a pretty good loss too.
That is a pretty good loss. At the moment, we'll see. It could.
Oh yeah, I guess the wheels could fall off there.
Yeah, who knows? A&M at New Mexico State. Who cares? A&M rolled. They almost had us fooled there for a minute. We're like A&M might be something, and then again Eric called that one. They and I don't know if I ever really bought them, but they were like there for a minute. We're like, all right, well,
who A&M?
Yeah. I don't think I don't buy them anymore. I don't. They're for a minute. They almost had me fooled, but they're one of those teams. I don't ever buy them until they actually do something. When was the last time they won a championship? Like the 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy them. I know they got a lot of money to throw around and they get all the good draft classes and everything, but
Well, I mean, I think it's been a long time since they've won a championship, but like this year with the playoff format, like it changes it up quite a bit.
It does, and I'm not saying they're like I won't be surprised if they make the playoff. I'm saying I don't buy them as a like, yeah, I don't buy them as a real like a real contender. They might make the playoff, but I don't buy them. Arizona State over K-State. K-State's pretty much done. I don't. A 3-loss Big 12 team is not making the playoff.
No, unless they win. I mean, if Kansas State manages to win the Big 12 title, now a lot of things have to shake their way. Colorado, Arizona State have to lose. BYU has to lose. But because of who Kansas State has beaten, they might have a chance. But Arizona State has to lose the next two, and Kansas State has to win out.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean they've already got 3 losses in conference.
Oh yeah, and Iowa State. Everybody, basically only one team can win out the rest of the way, except for Kansas State if they want a chance at.
So they don't do a championship, or you have to be a top two
team for championship.
Okay, because they don't do divisions anymore.
No, because God forbid you make it easy.
I do kind of like it though. It reminds me of the hockey playoffs. You know, just like it's all like they do by points instead of wins. So like
that's silly.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at, but I'm still excited. I'm like, oh, you know, Abs are within, you know, a half point or something like that. But I don't know. It's I think K-State's done. I was kind of hoping they'd do something this year. But I'm good to talk a whole bunch of shit to my good buddy Clint Mandel, who's a K-State alum. So, Purple Power Pussies. That's what they are. They call it the Power Cat. Their logo. I thought it was gay as hell.
Washington State's got a better cat for a logo.
Well, just that they called it the Power Cat, I thought was gay. And
yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it until then. And then, and now I got to talk shit. CU over Utah. CU rolled. I lost money on this game. I picked Utah to cover.
I'm betting on Colorado like every game. I've watched a few of their games now. Yeah, they're really good.
They are pretty good. That was a homer pick for the betting wise. That's why I didn't publish it anywhere. But I did bet Utah to I think to cover, and they did not. Washington State lost to New Mexico, and I won money on this game. This was the highest spread we've seen this far. It was or the highest over. It was 72, and they hit 73.
So Washington State game. I mean, that's Pac-12 at night. You're gonna get high scoring games. They don't play defense in Pullman.
No.
They don't play defense in Albuquerque either.
No.
I mean, it was interesting. I mean, New Mexico State is kind of one of those spicy teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got links to Kansas, you know, with that group.
Yeah,
you know, they're running out there, but the talent that they have at New Mexico doesn't always reflect on the record, but they usually play up to competition pretty well. And I don't know if I would have called them beating Washington State, but I would have called it being this close. I think I did call it being this close.
I think so. And I took your word for it, and I said, but I'm betting on the over because I want the shootout, and it didn't disappoint.
I didn't trust you. So I was laying off.
Well, it was good not to trust me because that was just hoping for a shootout, and that was like you say, classic Pac-12 at night. That's what you're looking for when all the real games are done, and you're just like, let's see what these West Coast dudes. Let's see them throw it around a little bit.
Looks like a fun game at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, I was rooting for a shootout, and honestly, for a 72-point over, it's not a ridiculous score for college football. Like it was a lot of points, but it's not a ridiculous score.
No, it's not.
And then we got Louisville at Stanford. Stanford 3-7. Stanford pulling off the upset over Louisville.
Louisville is continuing to be a terrible team.
Yeah, how are they?
Everybody who's lost to Louisville it's looking worse and worse for them.
How are they ranked at all? Yeah,
they were ranked at 6-3. They kind of came back and had some solid wins. They beat Clemson. They played good football, but basically every time they go and play someone who's not supposed to be in the ACC, they suck. SMU, garbage. Stanford, garbage. I mean, SMU's in Dallas. You can't even make the argument that the Gulf is kind of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Louisville's one of those teams where, like, if they're good in basketball, everybody knows it. But like, I'd never even heard of Lamar Jackson until the combine. Like,
really?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I hadn't heard of him, but like I'd heard a little bit about him because he was making video game plays, but like there was no hype on him because he was at Louisville. Like, like just nobody cares. Like as far as Louisville football, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, I couldn't care less about a game. I couldn't care any less about this game. Clemson at Pittsburgh, I'm also right in that category. I couldn't possibly care less. Pittsburgh was good. They were I guess 7-0. They've lost 3 straight, haven't they? That seems like a Pittsburgh thing, like you can't be too good, you're like you got to come back down to reality. This is a steel mill town, boy. We don't do real good. We can do good, but we ain't doing real good. That's for them. That's for them hoity-toity types.
Yeah, it's for those folks out in Philly.
Yeah. Missouri beat by South Carolina. I think we called that one too, didn't we?
Love to see it.
South Carolina's coming on, so like they've got I wouldn't say a legit shot at the SEC championship, but like a real shot. Depends on how it goes in the SEC is. I mean, it's an argument of who's the most chaos conference at the moment, but SEC is right up there. It's pretty much chaos. LSU getting beat by Florida. LSU's done. There's not a chance a four-loss team, even from the SEC, gets a playoff spot. That they're done. And then Tulane at 9-2 smokes Navy 35-0. Is Army also in the American?
Yeah, so it's gonna be Army and Tulane. Army's in it for sure. With this loss, Navy's out of it. Navy had to beat Tulane to stay in the running. So we won't see an Army-Navy American Conference Championship where they might both sneak in somehow. But this Tulane team is legit. This Army team is legit. Like the American outside of Boise State, the American is the best group of 5, group of 6 conference right now. I mean, you got Mountain West, you've got Boise State and UNLV. The depth isn't there.
CSU's probably going to.
San Jose State. You've got Wyoming. Nevada, San Diego State, Fresno State. Oh, isn't there another team? It's like to the south of us, I think. New Mexico, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to the south of Wyoming. That's good in the Mountain West. I mean, you get teams who are lucky, who probably are buying off the refs because they got all this money from the cartels in Greeley. But, I don't even – in terms of talent, right?
All right, so the new rankings came out. Oregon obviously at 1.
Can you just play that?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oregon at 1. Ohio State at 2. Texas at 3. Penn State at 4. Penn State does not belong at 4. I mean, I guess you can't.
They had a solid win against a shit Purdue team, so you can't knock them for not having a quality when they won by.
I don't argue with on paper where they're at, but I think everybody knows deep down that they're not actually that good. It was the same thing when Manti Te'o and Notre Dame went to the national championship. Like, everybody knew they were getting spanked. Everybody knew. Like nobody had any illusions that they were even gonna make a game of that. Like, Alabama was obviously gonna butt rape them.
I mean, I bet Manti Te'o didn't know.
Well, that's true. He probably didn't know. Poor Manti. I even have a hard time saying poor Manti Te'o. I'm just like, God damn it, dude, stupid. Did he get CTE at 7 years old? Jesus Christ. Indiana should probably flip-flop Penn State. I mean, well, obviously by record, they should.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that one.
Indiana's looked more impressive this year. Like, Penn State's been good, don't get me wrong, but Indiana has been impressive this year. And I mean, I guess they haven't played Ohio State, but by record and by wins, honestly, they should be at number 2. If Ohio State's in the 2 spot, I think Indiana should jump them. If we're going by if Penn State's at 4, then Indiana should be at 2.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're probably right, but I don't trust it.
No, I don't trust either one of those teams. But if we're going by the like record and strength of schedule and everything, I mean, like, Indiana's been really impressive. And yeah, Ohio State's 1 loss is to Oregon, but they got 1 loss, and Indiana is undefeated. So
yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Like, you just put them at 2 because it's going to get figured out next week.
Yeah, right, exactly. But like, I think
little bump this week.
Well, I think you got to give credit where it's due. It's like, all right, well, fuck you. Like, if wins matter, Indiana is got 1 more than you, and no losses. So like,
but wins don't matter.
Right. They don't.
I mean, they do, but like,
it's for how you win and who you beat.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, Indiana's been impressive, especially since nobody fucking saw them coming.
No. Them and Arizona State have been probably the 2 biggest surprises.
Arizona State's been like, I've never, like, there's been very few times where I've paid attention to Arizona State strictly for the football. You tune into Arizona State to see all the hotties in the stands because they got a lot of them. They've done well, but Indiana's, like I say, if we're going like by like who's been the best so far, Indiana's got 1 on Ohio State because they haven't lost. And Penn State, for that matter. Like, that's kind of horseshit. You got 2 Big Ten teams over another Big Ten team who hasn't lost. and they've won some big games. So, anyways, it's all just cannon fodder for us to chirp about, but that's what makes sports. So
yeah, I mean There's someone's losing between Ohio State and Indiana, and that'll change that quite a bit.
Yeah, and it'll again it'll throw just another wrench into the chaos of this playoff system. And I haven't been this intrigued by college football in a while. So like I'm interested to see how it plays out, several years down the road once everybody adapts and figures out what works. But as of right now, it's entertaining as hell.
Yes. And like with a bunch of upsets like every week, it seems like.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's wild. Yeah. Between this and the NIL, like,
and CSU being good again.
I mean,
I wouldn't stretch it.
Hey man, what are we, like 8 and?
You guys are 7-3, and you guys
5-0 in conference.
Yeah, undefeated in the Mountain West.
I guess you guys could have tried last night, whatever, or Friday
night. Notre Dame at 6. Boo! Get him out. Boo.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Indiana not being ranked high enough because they just haven't beaten quality teams, they haven't lost to non-quality teams.
Right
now, actually, I was watching it. I stopped paying attention. But I am pretty sure that Northern Illinois just got their butts whooped by Miami, Ohio. Yeah.
Cool.
20-9. I mean, butts whooped is pushing it, but it's the MAC. I mean, that's a huge score in the MAC right now.
You got a bunch of just like Polish factory workers for your entire team, so they don't. All they know is run and smash. There's not a lot of dynamic offensive coming out of the MAC.
No, and they're pretty much usually fine with that.
Yeah. Alabama at 7. Miami at 8. They're at 9-1. Ole Miss at 8-2. At number 9. Is that the first time, or Ole Miss was ranked top 10 before, right?
Ole Miss was number 6 in the country to start this season.
That's right.
Their losses to LSU and Kentucky really hurt.
Yeah,
especially once Kentucky, because everybody was thinking after that Georgia game with Kentucky, this is a real team.
Yeah,
and they're probably not. Kentucky was like, oh wait, we're playing. This is football. Sorry, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then they just went off a bridge. So
and now LSU losing again. I mean, like LSU's a pretty decent team, but yeah, they.
It's not a decent tean.
No. And so that makes that loss to LSU look worse as well. But I mean, still, you're top 10. That's
I'm not gonna complain. Right now, the team in the SEC that's getting shafted when the college football playoff comes around is Tennessee. And as long as Ole Miss is still sitting with a chance, I'm happy. I'm not quite sure if there's even a realistic possibility of Ole Miss fucking up to the point that we're not in
Who do you got left?
We have, hang on, here
we go. You got Florida and Mississippi State. So yeah, I mean, barring a total fuck up, you should win out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good it really is coming down to, I mean, this is a Florida team who is working back to bowl eligibility. They can get that against a shit FSU team.
Yeah.
They can get their 6th win against FSU. We need to win, and we need to win big.
Yeah.
it's got, playoff implications and everything. And Florida knows that. They played up. The LSU game had playoff implications. They played up. So I'm not taking this Florida team lightly, but this is a do or die game. Since the LSU loss, Ole Miss's season has been do or die. So if they want a chance at the playoff, they want a chance at a 10-win season, they got to win. They don't have a choice. So that's going to be huge. Georgia is in the same boat.
Ole Miss has got the toughest schedule, though.
Yeah. No, Tennessee's got UTEP, and then they're going to lose to Vanderbilt. Tennessee's out. I'm not even considering them in playoff contention. Vanderbilt will own the state of Tennessee.
Vanderbilt is still in the SEC championship talk, right?
They're on the bottom side of it, but yeah, there's still a chance.
Okay, so Georgia's got UMass and Georgia Tech, which is that should be a relatively good game. Georgia Tech, in-state rivalry, and Georgia Tech's pretty decent this year. But yeah, UMass, who cares? UTEP, who cares for Tennessee, and then Vanderbilt. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Vanderbilt's going to win that. It seems like they're out for scalps this year. Yeah. So I like it. A bunch of feisty fucking nerds.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in Diego Pavia's own words, God chose them for this season.
All right. Well,
if he wants to play David and Goliath, I will root for him all day long.
Well, go count some coup, Vanderbilt. I want to see it. SMU, who do they have left? They Virginia and Cal. So, I mean, not good teams, but
that's a Cal team that beat Florida State. They were undefeated last year. Watch out for that Cal team.
They're not good teams, but as far as SMU goes, nothing to sleep on. They got to keep the hammer down here on out. I think I think they will, but I won't be real surprised if they just fuck it up in one of these two games that they obviously should win. BYU, who do they have?
They have
Arizona State. I think they lose.
That's a good game.
And a Houston team that beat Kansas State.
Yep, that's true.
A decent, I shouldn't say good, a decent Houston team.
Yeah, they started out not looking great.
No, I mean, I think they're kind of in a not rebuilding is maybe the wrong word, but kind of in a figuring their shit out year.
Well, they're
pretty good like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But
same with UCF. As soon as they joined the Big 12, they turned into dog shit.
They had a similar path as Kansas this year, where they started out kind of dog shit and then have kind of come on here lately, and close game with Kansas. So, it's or I guess that was BYU, not Houston. I don't know how they did against Kansas, but either way, they've had a kind of a similar arc.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you want to see from when you're trying to fight your way into the playoff. When you got a team who maybe started out not so great, but is now looking to I mean, they're at least bowl eligible. Houston's not, but Houston needs 2 more wins to get bowl eligible. And I don't see them getting there without playing like how they've played the last couple weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, if BYU loses to Arizona State, that really fucks up the Big 12 picture too, which I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for BYU to lose. I'm rooting for CU to lose. And A&M's at 15. I don't see them making it in, but it's the SEC.
It's
weird shit has happened this year.
I mean, what's CU's next two?
CU is at Kansas and Oklahoma State, which.
So one of them is going to be really tough, and the other one they're playing the lesser Cowboys this season, which is hard to say.
Yeah, Oklahoma State sucks. I was surprised at how much they sucked this year. I thought they were going to be kind of decent, and then have their hopes dashed. Like when they're kind of riding high,
kind of like they usually do.
Yeah, like that's typical Okie State, but no, they sucked this year. But KU, I'm betting KU money line against CU. Like I have never been a KU fan of any flavor at all. I'm a Colorado guy. I lived in Kansas, but I talked shit on Kansas the entire time I lived there. And if I had to pick a Kansas team, it would be K-State because there's an ag college. And as far as professional sports, like everybody I knew in Kansas where I lived made no fucking sense why you rooted for Kansas City. It's not in your state.
It's a Missouri team.
It's a Missouri team, and you're closer to Denver. It made no sense.
Yeah, but we don't like them.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fine, but it was either way. It made no sense, and it also made no sense why you're a fucking Raider fan. But
because I don't.
I think he likes the suck just as much as I mean, he grew up around.
You notice.
Well, I was a Packers, so I was a Packers fan first, and then the Broncos beat the Packers in the Super Bowl, and to piss off everyone, I started to root for the Raiders.
Well, so you're a Packer fan, is what it is.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're a Raiders fan out of spite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like 27-year-old spite here. Okay?
I like it
going.
If that's any reason to be a fan of anything, I mean, I'm on board. I am a staunch CSU hater out of spite.
See, spite makes the oldest cultures. I mean, that's why the Indians have 1,000-year history, because they hold on to those grudges, and they capitalize on them later on. 27 years is nothing for an Indian grudge.
Yeah, no. But like I'm only 37, so it's a lot for me.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a respectable grudge. I'm not saying I'm not casting shade on you. I'm saying you've easily got another 27 years in you. It's in your genes.
I hope so,
man. Yeah. So. And then we get into Clemson. I mean, they're in the conversation because they could win the ACC. South Carolina is who do they have left? Wofford, who cares? And then Clemson. They'll probably knock Clemson out.
Yeah, I think South Carolina is going to knock Clemson out of contention entirely. And Missouri is disappointing.
Clemson had the Citadel. Get the fuck out of here. That's like the South Carolina, roundup there. You gotta get Clemson, South Carolina, and the Citadel for whatever reason. That was a big college back in 1848.
Yeah.
Army. Who do they got left?
They have Notre Dame this upcoming week, and Navy follow.
Okay.
What's Utah,
San Antonio, yeah. And then the American Conference championship is after the Army Navy game.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that's good. And they didn't have to change the schedule on Army Navy. That's awesome. Army Navy game is always great.
Oh, hang on. No, I think it's before.
Is it?
Conference champs? No, they're in the same conference. So it goes, everybody else finishes their season. And then there's the week in between. That week in between is when Army plays Navy.
Okay.
There's 2 weeks off.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Army, Navy, and then conference champ. So Army doesn't get a bye week.
So they got 3 weeks between the end of the regular season and the conference championship?
Yeah. I'm almost certain of it.
That is 2 weeks in between when Army plays UTSA and then the Army.
Hey, wait. No, Jake, you are right.
Okay, I thought so.
That is so weird.
Well, because
they're
Army Navy's like pretty much the start of the bowl season, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like Army Navy and then
kind of reverse. But it's going to be Army and Tulane.
Okay.
All they are playing for right now for the rest of the season is the playoff.
Huh.
Damn, that's a rough schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they got to play UTSA and then Tulane,
and then Navy,
and then Navy,
and then maybe if they win all of those, then they can go.
Well, if they so if they win the conference championship, and let's say KU and CU lose, and then let's say,
that also assumes that they took out Notre Dame there too.
Oh yeah, and Notre Dame.
Those are like 3 ranked teams or 3.
Okay, I'd say that was fucking me up because I didn't even look at. I was just going the last 2 weeks, and then So Notre Dame. I hope they beat the shit out of Notre Dame.
That would be so nice to watch.
That'd be awesome. So let's say they win out. KU, CU loses. Big 12 is in chaos. Let's say just for shits and giggles, CSU knocks off Boise. That's not going to happen. But just for speculations,
knock off Boise.
No, CSU never plays Boise well.
Well, Wyoming's got them at home. We've got them this Saturday.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
I think the goalposts may come down. If we knock down Boise, they might have 400 yards of offense.
I expect a selfie from you hanging off the tip of the goalpost. I expect it for this show.
I will be up there. I'm going to tell Jill, hey, sorry, I know you've got these nice tickets, but I will be stealing a goalpost.
And you're like, hey, man, I've hit the ground from way higher.
Way higher than this. I am not worried about that.
I'm not scared of shit. I fell out of an airplane and survived. And not Joe Biden fell out of an airplane. I fell out of a real airplane. No, I do. I would love to see that. Like just Eric Winkler just hanging off the end of the goalpost as they knock off.
Don't do it, Eric. That $500,000 fine is going to sink your whole program.
What program?
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh. They've got ads before the game from former players begging students to donate what little money we have because it's Laramie fucking Wyoming. Nobody makes any money here. Hey, donate like the $20 that you have for food this week to actually pay for an NIL player to come. I mean, I think I told y'all, I ran into some of the recruits at one of the games. These kids were like 5'10", 110 pounds soaking wet. Oh, I'm a defensive end. The fuck you are? Where are you a defensive end? In middle school? What is this?
Well, in Shadron, Nebraska, I was the stud of my team.
Oh, I bet. You know, you look like a Shadron State kind of guy.
I do too. Who was the little bitty running back played for the Patriots for a while? He went to Shadron.
Really?
Yeah.
Woodhead?
It might have been Woodhead. It was
white guy?
Yeah. I mean, Shadron State. Come on, yeah, definitely a white guy.
He was a white guy.
I don't know if it was Woodhead, but it was a guy just like Woodhead. Like just swap him out for Woodhead.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
It was Danny Woodhead. He went to Shadron State.
But there was another guy. Like I mean, honestly, it was like Bill Belichick special. Wes Welker, Amendola, Danny Woodhead. I
mean, it's Boston. You got to get some white guys in there.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. You got to. They.
No one's going to show up otherwise.
They only like black people when they perform on their sports teams. That's how Boston goes.
And maybe not even then.
I mean, only if they perform, to a high level. But hey, Cradle of Liberty and all. So, so Army Tulane, that's gonna be a fun. That's going to be a fun conference championship. I really hope Army wins out. I'd like to see Army in the playoff. Army or Navy was my choice at the beginning of the year. Obviously Navy's out of it now, but
that'd be pretty wild.
Fucking let's go. And have like a shootout, like the first ever or the first over in the Army Navy game in I don't know, like 20 years. Let's have it happen this year. It's going to happen this year. I think it's going to happen.
Hang on. So looking at Army, they have played some very high scoring games, which has been very unlike them. They dropped 42 on Lehigh, which doesn't count. I mean, it's Lehigh.
Right.
But 37 on Rice. 42 on Temple, 49 on Tulsa, 44 on Alabama Birmingham, 45 on East Carolina. And then the past two games, it's kind of petered out, 20 against Air Force and 14 against North Texas. But the reason they only scored 14 at North Texas is because they kept North Texas off the field. Their whole goal was to ensure that North Texas got as little of the ball as possible. I mean, they had a drive last 13 minutes and ended in a touchdown. 83 yards, 13 minutes, an entire quarter. North Texas didn't touch the football. And North Texas is one of the best offenses in college. I mean, they put up points, they put up yards. They are a good offense. So Army was like, fuck it. We can score on you, but I don't want to play in a shootout. I'm going to shoot you in the head. You're not going to get a chance to pull. I'm going to shoot you
4 yards every single game.
Oh, that's awesome. Were they just like going 4 yards and falling down?
Yeah. I mean, it was like Army has played a Air Force brand of football this year. They like 2 weeks ago, they decided we're going to play Army football again. All right. We've been playing the Army Air Corps all year. Let's play some Army football. All right. We're going to bring out the tanks. And they just shut it down.
What kind of deal do they have with Vegas to get everybody to bet the over this year? And then they just play classic Army Navy football.
Can you imagine?
We got a 9-3 game. That'd be awesome. I you know what? I haven't been this excited for Army Navy in quite some time. Like this is actually a really interesting game. I'm excited for it. So, Arizona State. Who do they got? They got
they've got Colorado, don't they?
They got CU and
well, that's
CU.
not right.
They got BYU and Arizona.
Who did they just play?
I
could have sworn
Kansas State. They beat K-State.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, so they knocked K-State kind of completely out of
pretty much
like playoff contention. Because unless they knocked him out of the top 25 completely.
Yeah. For the CFP.
K-State got knocked out. Washington State is hanging on in the AP poll by a thread.
So, like, if K-State, if everything plays out, they win out and and everything plays out so they get a shot at the Big 12 championship and they win, they're still not going to be the one of the top 4 ranked conference winners. So, yeah, K-State's pretty much, I mean, maybe they get an at-large bid at that point, but I don't know. I think K-State's pretty much out. I mean, it'd be tough to say, but yeah. So Arizona State at BYU. I'm betting Arizona State, and then at Arizona. Arizona was pretty good early in the season, but
yeah, I don't know. Arizona,
or maybe they were
Arizona
hyped.
was supposed to be good.
Yeah, they were hyped, I guess.
6. They started out with a big-ish win against New Mexico, and then they beat them 61-39. I mean, that's not a win against New Mexico.
Yeah, but you gave up 31 points. Yeah, 39 points.
Granted, this is a New Mexico team who took and beat Washington, a good Washington State team down the wire. But then the next week, they beat Northern Arizona 22-10. Northern Arizona, that's an FCS school.
Yeah,
putting up
and a small
numbers.
FCS
and they
school.
beat up a terrible Utah team. They beat them 23-10. So they put up a ton of points to start the season and then just fell off.
Yeah,
the only win since beating Utah was against Houston.
And so, and who? What is Arizona State's conference?
Arizona State is 8-2.
And they're 3rd right now in the Big 12.
Yep, behind BYU and the Buffaloes. But I mean, following this, they're either going to be 4th behind Iowa State, or they're going to be
1 or 2
right up there with the Buffaloes as 1 and 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm rooting for Arizona State to make a run. I think they got it in them, and I'm just rooting for chaos anyways. So Iowa State, I mean, there are only 2 losses, but Texas Tech and Kansas, that's a pretty good.
I mean, if we want to talk about it,
it's not a bad loss, honestly.
Kansas right now is the Viet Cong, all right? We shouldn't have lost, but, they were not fun to fight, all right?
Yeah.
They're like the Taliban, all right? They're like the
They had poo-soaked bamboo sticks, damn it.
Yeah, that's how they beat them. I mean, they've got I don't think Iowa State wins out. All right. I think they beat Utah because Utah's garbage this year.
Yeah.
They're like the discount Mormons. But Kansas State, I think, is gonna I mean, I don't have anything nice to say. I'm not gonna say anything more. I just called them
that's I was mulling it over, and no, it checks out. It checks out. I mean, because if
BYU's Walmart, they're Dollar Tree. They're not even Dollar General.
If your family's got money in Utah, you're going to Brigham Young.
Yeah.
And if you're not quite up to that level, you'll go to Utah.
Yeah.
And then if you're a poor rancher kid, you'll go to Utah State.
You go to Utah State. No, I mean, look, this Kansas State team is going to end up finishing 9-3, and they're going to keep the Cyclones out of their chance at a playoff bid because of that win. I mean, Kansas State doesn't have a choice but to win out because they were up here. They had the expectation of being the best team in the Big 12. I mean, They were supposed to be undisputed the best team. They were supposed to be one of the best teams in the country, and you're looking at it, and they're 4-3 in conference.
Yeah,
with those 3 losses coming against a unranked at the time BYU, where they got smoked, an unranked Houston, and an unranked at the time Arizona State. 2 good losses, but that loss against Houston is huge. There's no reason for them to lose to Houston like that. So this Iowa State game, they've got Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is just kind of middling at this point. They're still trying to figure out how to play in this conference. So it'll be a fight, I think, but Arizona State is going to be number 1. Buffalo's number 2 in conference. I'm calling that the Big 12. I think
that's where I'm leaning too.
I don't know. It'd be really cool to see the Buffs make it into the playoff.
Yeah.
2 years removed from being a 1-win team.
I want to see them go.
Nah.
I don't know. I don't want Arizona State to win. You see,
I'm going to be a lot bigger fan of Deion Sanders when he's at Florida State next year.
Yeah. I'd peg him to go NFL.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to go be a consultant or an assistant coach, QB coach, whatever, wherever
Shedeur goes.
Shedeur ends up.
Well, I mean, as much as I don't like CU, and as much as I can't stand like the constant just pushing of CU. Like I like Deion, and Shedeur he's a pretty legit quarterback. Travis Hunter is outstanding. That dude's insane. But I ain't gonna root for him. I'm glad that they brought some attention to Colorado football for the first time in quite some time. But now that we got Bo Nix, just throwing darts over mountains.
Now you don't need to. Now the attention's already here. You're okay.
Yeah,
my thought process is, look, Arizona State beat Wyoming. All right, that puts them on my shit list. Colorado beats CSU. That puts them on the good list. All right, so we're rooting for Colorado here.
Yes, but if they beat,
but here, Jake, you can't. There's no rhyme or reason to this thought process.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, from your perspective, if BYU loses, that might mean CSU ends up as conference champ.
Yeah, well, BYU also beat me, so I want them to lose too. All right.
Yeah, everyone beats you, dude.
Yeah, okay. Everybody but Air Force. All right.
It's YO versus the world.
We rushed the field after we beat a service academy who sucks, and we barely beat New Mexico in a shootout.
You guys rushed the field against Air Force?
We rushed the field against Air Force. We started the season like 0-5, 0-4.
That's so sad.
It is. I'm not proud of the fact that we rushed the field against Air Force, but we did. And my defense of that is that it was a little bit of a revenge game. Last year we were almost ranked. We were 7-0. We were pushing, for that top beating in the Mountain West, and Air Force beat us.
Such a military mentality, especially like an enlisted man military mentality. And no, I'm not proud of it, but yes, we did it. I'm not saying it was right. Not saying it was. I'm real proud of anything that happened, but yeah, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
Orders were that's to do it, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
All right. So Missouri, they're done. Missouri.
Mizzou's really. I mean, South Carolina is that team. I mean, we want to talk about a team that you don't want to play.
Oh yeah, they have been coming on.
What time? South Carolina's that team. Mizzou is not the same team that they were last year. I don't know if they don't have the fight. I don't know if the magic's gone. They don't got it. They're going to win out. They're going to finish 9-3. Mississippi State's a garbage team. Arkansas is not great. Honest to God, I don't think Arkansas – I think Missouri's going to figure out what they've been doing wrong, and they're going to fix it against Arkansas. But they've been able to get by playing opponents.
It's not a rivalry game either against Arkansas. So, like Arkansas got up against Texas. They still lost by 10, but that's a decent loss, but yeah, I don't see the same intensity for Mizzou. So I mean, Mizzou should win out, but they don't deserve to be in the playoff.
No, and they're not going to be.
No,
if there's a 3-loss team that deserves it, it's South Carolina. I mean, their biggest loss was against Ole Miss, and an Ole Miss team that is very, very good.
The top 10.
Top 10 Ole Miss team. They lost to Alabama by 2. They took Alabama to the wire, and they lost to LSU by 3. So their losses were by a combined, that's 24 points plus 5. 29 points they've lost by this season. In the SEC, that's pretty impressive. But they finished off the season against Wofford and Clemson, so I don't know how much higher they can move. This Missouri Tigers win was kind of their statement win this season, and it's looking like a win against LSU.
Yeah, I think so. UNLV, what's their path? I guess CSU would have to lose.
CSU has to lose, which is inevitable. You guys are going to show cocksucker University.
We got Fresno and who else did I see?
San Jose is 3-3, and New Mexico is 3-3.
Okay,
but I mean the odds. Boise State has to lose to Wyoming. They have to lose to Colorado State, or they have to lose to Oregon State. And that's the only way. If they lose 2 games and they're finishing 9-3, it's more than likely going to go to either Army or Tulane, whoever wins the American, because that's the next best group of 5. There's no way Boise State has clinched it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. No, I think the American gets in as an at-large, but I don't think they jump Boise unless Boise just chokes, and Boise's not known for that. So
no, I would be. So Army if Army wins out, right? So it's very weird. So they finished the season at 9-0, then they beat. They win. They finish the season 11-0. They win, so they're 12-0. Then in the conference playoff or conference champ, and then they beat Navy, so they're 13-0. Then they would have. They theoretically, if the Big 12 fumbles it, which is apt to happen,
yeah, most likely, honestly,
the SEC, the Big 10. Boise State and Army. And then the Big 12 and ACC are fighting for a bid.
That's interesting.
There's a chance of that happening. I mean, if Army beats Notre Dame, they've got a statement top 10 win.
Yeah.
And I can see that pushing the ACC to 4th place and the Big 12 to 5th.
Yeah, for sure. I got to take a leak real quick, but we'll come back and do picks for next week, and then hit the NFL.
All right. After we do picks, I'm going to head to bed. I got an early thing tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm getting too old for this. I don't know how you guys, you young kids stay up so late.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't got a job. I got up at noon, man.
That's pretty nice. No, I woke up this morning to a text from my friend. She's like, yeah, we've got a test today in range. And I'm like, oh, well, I haven't been to class in 2 weeks, so I hope I know what's on it. I was like, I pass it. Luckily, I think it's just because it's easy stuff. But I was like, I don't know what's going to be on this test. I studied for a ranch management like econ test, and I failed that. So, I mean, so far my success has come when I don't study and I just kind of show up forgetting about it. But I don't know, Jake. It's coming down to the wire. And I'm starting to look like BYU or Kansas State, and I'm not starting to look like Ole Miss or South Carolina.
That's rough. Okay, hang on. So you said ACC might jump Big 12? Sorry, but for
So right now in the rankings, Boise State, so the Mountain West has jumped the Big 12. So the fourth bye week has gone to Boise State.
How does that work?
Okay, so right now Boise State is the fourth highest ranked conference champion in this scenario. They are the fourth. The Mountain West currently has the fourth highest ranked.
Oh, I thought it was. I didn't realize that it could be any conference.
Yeah,
any conference.
It's not the Power Four get that. So right now, Army has the best chance because I don't see a 2-loss Tulane. Even if they win out and beat an Army team that potentially has a win against Notre Dame, and does well, I see them getting in at large. But if Army wins out, they're 13-0. I don't see there's no undefeateds left in the Big 12. There's no undefeateds left in the SEC. There's only 2 undefeateds left in the Big 10. No undefeateds in the ACC. If Army wins out, I feel like their strength of schedule plus that win against Notre Dame and their undefeated record, that has to count. And I think that means more than the ACC, anything in the ACC. We talked about it last week. It's a nothing conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still better than America.
But it's still better than the American. I'm not disagreeing with you there. But if Army wins out, they've got to win against Notre Dame. I don't see the committee keeping them out. I mean,
you're right, but it's probably
insane. You've got Texas or Ole Miss or Georgia, whoever.
They only got like 2 spots to jump up to get into position there too.
Yeah, exactly. They just have the Big 12 just has to choke, and Army just has to finish undefeated, and they're in.
I think Army might get a 16 spot even with one loss. Like if they lost to Notre Dame, but it's close, they could still probably get in.
I think so. I mean, I think they would be they'd be behind BYU, so they'd be kind of sneaking in. But if they played them close and then beat a ranked Tulane in the championship, I can see that. I can see them bumping up.
Yeah,
it's it's pure chaos in college football right now. It's fascinating. I don't, and there's been some like really big upsets the last couple of weeks, and some with like that we predicted, but some like kind of come out of nowhere too. So it's wild. It's been a while since I've been this intrigued by college football. So, whatever your thoughts are on the 12-team playoff, it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, first year of it, something this big of a change is.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be interesting to figure out like how this.
I think 5 years from now we'll be bitching again about how the big boys are the same. But it'd be like different. There might even be more like conference realignment. So like, say like in Oklahoma slides over to the Mountain West or something like that, so they can dominate the Mountain West.
Oh, they'll go to the Pac-12 with us.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We got the Pac-12. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think 5 years from now we'll probably be bitching about the same old bullshit in just different scenarios. But for this year, it's fun as fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so NFL. How'd you do betting wise this week, Jake?
Not good. I got crushed.
It was a good thing I was busy most of the weekend because I would have been in the same boat. I didn't do well overall, but I didn't bet too much, so it didn't get me too much. I won the Thursday night game, Washington at Philly.
I did win that one. Yeah.
I took it in a teaser, I think, and so odds weren't great. It was like a minus 130 or something like that, but it hit. So money's money. I don't care about that. The Eagles, I mean, that's a pretty good win for a conference rival.
I guess, but they had to really put together in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, no joke, but still, I mean, fourth quarter is where it counts. So
you're right.
Yeah, it's it wasn't necessarily an impressive win. Just looking off of stats and whatever, but being a conference rival and the Commanders being a pretty good team this year, like that's a solid conference win. Not a blowout, but it's solid, and especially the late push. It was a closer game than the final shows, but it's a good win. A home win. You kind of
definitely.
You're supposed to win that.
Whatever, short week, but
yeah, but I mean that's a game you're supposed to win, and they did. It was it was against a division rival. That's a good win. So the Pack.
Shoot, that's fucking nuts.
Second week in a row with a walk-off blocked field goal. I don't know what the fuck the Broncos line was doing against the Chiefs there, but yeah, I mean, good for the Packers. That was
surprising.
That was. They shouldn't have won that game.
No, they shouldn't have.
They should not have won that game.
Well, actually, I mean, they really should have.
Right, but
they should have blown them out. But
yeah, but yeah. When they actually played, you're just like, oh, yeah, that like they honestly deserved to lose that game, but I'm glad they won.
Yeah.
And the Lions fucking
Jesus Christ,
just wagging.
That was some fucking. That was their statement game. They're clearly the best now.
Yeah, they're. Yeah, I mean,
not the Jags are shit, but
yeah, but still 52-6. Holy shit, man! And to cap it off is 2 field goals, not a single touchdown scored by the Jags. Yeah, if it wasn't clear before, Trevor Lawrence sucks. Maybe he could resurrect his career somewhere else, but I don't know, man. It's been a rough season for old Sunshine down in Jacksonville. Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's just fucking doing his thing. He's quietly one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL for a couple of years running now.
I mean, it's weird because I thought that was I get the trade, but I thought Stafford was better, and
yeah, I think so too.
But now Stafford's been trashed since that trade, and Goff's been getting better and better.
Well, I mean,
Stafford's been trash.
Okay, no, you're right. But he is.
Stafford didn't waste. I hate to say waste his prime in Detroit.
Pretty close though.
He wasn't really able to, hit that potential in Detroit like he was able to at the Rams. So you put him together with a really solid supporting cast in Los Angeles, where he's got the defense to back it up, and he's not just throwing to one receiver.
Hey, I mean, it's for a long time it's Megatron. That's a great.
Hey, and quite honestly, I think Megatron could do wonders for Caleb Williams. But
I'd be the best fucking quarterback in the league with Megatron.
Detroit was able to build something from the ground up because they let Stafford go. And Stafford was able to get a ring.
Dan Campbell is going to die at the on the sidelines. It might be next year. it might be 70 years from now. But Dan Campbell is never leaving as head coach until he dies. Like that guy is something else. I mean that whatever. Like you can criticize all the stupid decisions or that he's made over the years, but that that team likes Dan Campbell, and it's hard not to like him. I mean, he's just a dude. Like that team. They're gonna be tough to beat. I don't think they win it this year, but man, they look dominant.
I mean, I don't want it to happen, but I think they win.
They could. I won't be surprised. I don't think it happens this year. I think it's going to come out of AFC, probably the Chiefs, but I don't know. I'm really pulling for the Bills and Josh Allen, but I don't know. We'll see. But the Lions, if they don't make the Super Bowl, that's a shame. They're fucking dominating right now.
Yep. Damn. All right. So Vikings. I watched a little bit of this. I mean, they look great. And they're,
well, they were the talk of the league.
Yeah, no, but then they took those 2 losses and everyone stopped talking about them. But now they're 8-2 and
yeah, they're quietly just really, really good.
Well, and I mean, it's unfortunate that they got the Lions in the division too, but they're just getting overshadowed a little bit there.
NFC North is outside of Chicago. I'll wait till we get to the Broncos. But I made a song. But I mean, the NFC North is stacked right now outside of Chicago. I mean, the Vikings are, like you said, nobody talks about them. Everybody was talking about Sam Darnold being MVP, and then they lost 2 in a row, and then they're back on their shit, and nobody's talking about them. It's kind of wild. The Packers are still there. I mean, I think the Packers are a real contender. And then the Lions look fucking unbeatable at the moment.
Yeah. So you're the opposite. The fucking Raiders lost again.
Tua is still alive.
He's trying his hardest not to be though.
He's really leaning with his head into the dying early thing.
I think someone might have told him my story, and he might have thought, "Hey, maybe I can do that."
I mean,
I don't know if he knows that I didn't walk out of it. Great.
Okay, so halfway serious question: if he survives another concussion like he took the last one, what's more impressive? You surviving hitting the ground at 60 mile an hour, or Tua surviving the NFL?
Well, God, I think it might honestly be Tua surviving the NFL. I mean, I've taken a fair share of hits,
right? But we're talking about the hits. He's taken 3 of them so far, and you got 1. Granted, yours was way more significant.
That's the fun one. Getting stumped because I fell off a bowl, getting kicked by my horse bucking me off into the wall. Those aren't fun stories. Falling out of a plane is cool.
I mean, it's not the falling part; it's the fucking landing part.
That's what I'm not good at. I think I'm one of the best. I can fly. I just can't land.
My aerodynamics are shit, but I was aloft.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm on concussion number 12, so
I don't know how many I've had, but it's been a few.
There's probably a bunch of others that were really.
I was
diagnosed.
I don't know how long I was out cold, but it was a while from a high lift jack, handyman jack, when I was 13 or 14, something like that. I had to change a tire on my dad's welding trailer, heavy bastard, and it was 102, and it was a old handyman jack, one of the good ones, but the metal was solid 600 degrees probably from the sun, you know. So I had really oily gloves on, and I was letting it down, and yeah, caught me right. My jaw still clicks from that one. But I was out cold for a while. I don't know exactly how long. My dad found me.
Don't fall asleep for 30 minutes. That's not good.
No, I like I said, it probably wasn't 30 minutes, but slight chance it was right on that edge.
I got knocked out playing with this like giant ass ball when I was a little kid. Playing like volleyball with like a 4-foot round ball.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good idea to go header it. I woke up like 3 hours later.
Oh shit. I chipped my tooth. We were in my sister's backyard, my older sister, and so I had a aluminum baseball bat, and they had a basketball. I'm not sure. I don't recall exactly what we were doing, but anyway, he threw the basketball at me, and I mean, it was a fucking home run swing. Ka-chunk! It ricocheted right back, and I chipped my tooth. And I remember every second of that part. I did not. That's when I realized I've got a pretty decent chin, like that, because I didn't lose a second of consciousness on that. I witnessed every little millisecond.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, Raiders still suck. Tua's still alive. That's a meaningless game. Rams, Patriots. I guess the Rams not really a meaningless game. They're right there in the mix for the NFC West. Patriots. Drake May has played pretty well. I don't know how he played this game, but he's played pretty decent. Patriots aren't anything good, but they might be coming down the road. Who knows? Browns Saints is another nobody cares game. Jameis Winston threw for almost 400, 2 touchdowns. Do you have any picks?
I mean, it's Jameis Winston. He's gotta have
well, it's Jameis Winston post LASIK.
No picks.
Oh,
picks.
You're right. I forgot he got the eye surgery.
But he'll have
I would
at
really
least
love to see Jameis Winston with like a pair of like Bubbles glasses, like from Trailer Park
Oh
Boys.
fuck yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
Or like little Daryl, like
but have crab legs as the earpieces.
Oh
yeah. Jameis Winston, man.
Wow, he's just like Wild Thing, man.
He's
eyes
like,
fixed, and now he can aim the ball.
Like he's arguably one of the bigger busts as far as like first overall, but like also he's still around, and you're like, well, I mean that guy could throw some.
He's thrown he's had like a 5,000 yard season. He's not.
Like year, so. Right? I mean, he's not.
I mean, I think he also threw like 25 interceptions that year, but whatever.
Like he was started out as like the third string quarterback on the Browns, but he's kind of a bust, but also he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he could start for several teams in the NFL. So like he's not exactly a bust, but he's also not
good.
Not what you'd expect from a first round or number one overall.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's I don't know that. That's just another terrible who cares games.
Richardson looked pretty good in this one.
What he was 272 and a touchdown.
And I think 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh shit. Okay. I mean that guy when he's good, he's really good.
Oh man, yeah, and he's fun to watch, but fucking inconsistent, and like he's been hurt a lot.
Yeah, a lot. And then, I mean, and then when you have Joe Flacco come in for a couple games and look pretty decent, you're like, well, yeah. I mean, it didn't last long. You know, when Flacco fell apart, he fell apart pretty hard. But
he was like 42.
Yeah, exactly. And I was listening to Derek Wolfe the other day, and they were asking him about Flacco as a teammate, and he's like, the dude's a professional quarterback, but like that's his job. Like that's like it'd be the same as like the, you know, any other say a union job, you know, like he's like a shift leader or something like that. like is he proud of it? No, but that's his job. That's what he does every day. And like that's how Joe Flacco is as a quarterback.
It's like Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
He's never smiled once and played for the Nuggets, but
this is my fucking job, man.
Watching some racing his horses or playing for Serbia. He's out there joking around.
Eric, I completely forgot we were gonna do college football picks after I got back. My bad, dude.
Like I've got stuff to say, but I'm also still got to shower, still got to do dishes.
My bad, dude.
No, it's all good. I can rapid fire real quick.
Okay, let me I'll flip over to the top 25. Who do we got in the Mountain West real quick?
All right, so we got UNLV. That's a big one. That's going up against San Jose State. Basically, UNLV wins, they're in the championship.
Okay.
So this is a must-win game for UNLV. Boise State's going to lose at Wyoming. You know, they can play on a blue field. They can't play at altitude. Boise State's going to kick Wyoming's ass. The spread is 23. Take the total to be over 57. Wyoming's going to put up 17 points. Boise's going to put up 65. San Diego State's going to take down. San Diego State's going to take down Utah State because Utah State's garbage. One of their only wins came against Wyoming, and they barely got that one. Wyoming or Air Force, Nevada. Take Nevada. They got the home field advantage, and the Air Force are starting to look more like the Chair Force. Colorado State's got Fresno State. They are in Fresno. I'd say take Fresno, but this is a Colorado State team that seems to have figured out how to play football. So it kind of be exciting. We want to go to the top 25. Ole Miss over Florida. Don't take the spread. All right, take the over on the points. It's going to be a 32 to like 27 game. It's going to be a 5-point win for Ole Miss. DJ Lagway is going to play really well. He's going to play lights out. Ole Miss is going to do just enough on offense. Kentucky at Texas. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very low-scoring affair here. It was 13-12 in Georgia's favor when they played Kentucky. I can see Kentucky's defense holding strong against Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns' offense. Indiana, Ohio State. I'm taking Indiana on this one. I think Kurt Cignetti is a better coach than Ryan Day, and I know he's going to have a really good game plan coming into this game. I think we'll see a Big Ten flip where Indiana next week is going to be ranked number 2 in the country. Ohio State's going to drop to maybe 6 or 7. Wake Forest, awesome. Miami sucks. This is going to be a close game, but they are at home, and I think Miami does cover that spread. It is 24, but I think it'll be like 20 to 40, 45-ish. Miami's going to be able to put up the points. Wake Forest is not that good either. SMU at Virginia. Virginia has played some very, very good games this year, and they're playing at home. I think I'd take the over for sure. I don't know if I'd take the SMU to cover that spread. Illinois at Rutgers. Rutgers and Illinois are kind of battling it out for, hey, we're kind of good at football this year. I think Rutgers is going to win, drop Illinois to 7-4. At home, I think that's a good place for Rutgers.
Sirianni, right? At Rutgers. Yeah, he's a good football coach.
He is. He very much is. UMass at Georgia. I mean, this is a matchup of two powerhouses.
Spreads at 42. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think UMass scores a touchdown. It might be a little Pittsburgh Steeler type game where they score on field goals. Georgia cover the spread. Georgia cover the over. UTEP at Tennessee. Tennessee is going to beat up on a struggling Miners squad. I mean, Tennessee loves Miners. I mean, they're going to fuck the Miners so bad. The fucking Miners are going back with, like, they're going to be bleeding. They're fucking the Miners so hard. They're going back to El Paso, hoping to cross back over the border. Penn State at Minnesota. I think this is the game where Penn State finally fucks up. All right, this is a spooky Minnesota team where they've got some talent. They've had some flashes. I think this will be a statement win at home in front of the Gopher Stadium, whatever they call it. I don't care about Minnesota football, but I think they're going to beat Penn State. BYU at Arizona State. Mormons are going down. All right. They already got kicked out of Arizona once. They're going to get kicked out of Arizona again. All right. Crying, no soaking.
There's been no soaking at Arizona State. They do full thrusts down there.
Oh, yeah, no. Arizona State doesn't soak. They fuck. Colorado at Kansas. It's going to be a win for Colorado. I take Colorado to cover the spread, but that's because they're going to win by a field goal, not 2.5 points. Over under, I say take the over because Colorado's going to put up probably close to 30, 40 points, and Kansas is going to stick with them. The Citadel at Clemson, I mean, it's the Citadel, man. That's a sick name, a shit football team.
No
They're
spread.
Not going to score a point. They don't even have the betting odds. Listen, the Citadel is getting money to fund more kids dying in Iraq. Wofford at South Carolina. South Carolina is going to steamroll, not a game. Missouri at Mississippi State. Mississippi State's a garbage team. Missouri's going to get their last one of the season in Starkville or whatever town they're in. I think it's Starkville. Not Hattiesburg. Starkville, yeah. Army at Notre Dame. This is an away game for Army, but they're not playing in Indiana. They're playing in Yankee Stadium in New York. I think Army's going to cover. They're going to have a stronger fan base turnout, and Army's just looked like a complete team. Notre Dame was easily picked apart by an NIU squad that had no business playing that well. Army is better than that NIU squad, and Army is better than a lot of these teams that Notre Dame has played and barely scraped by against. I take Notre Dame to lose. I would say Army puts up close to 50 points on them, and Notre Dame can't keep up.
Nice. Hold on. Over under on number of people to get knocked out by the wall at Yankee Stadium.
I'm going to say over 2.
Over 2.
Over 2. If that's a prop bet, take it. Over 2 people to get. And
I guarantee there's going to be like an
Army fullback, and he's going to be in on the next play.
It's like one of the corners of the end zone meets the wall of the outfield.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm kind of really excited for
it's like fucking arena football.
Yeah, but without all the low level talent. No, like we got like 2 pretty good teams, and like there's a legit chance that somebody could get knocked the fuck out in that corner.
Oh, that's great. I'm watching just for that.
Yeah, it's wild. And it may turn out different during the game, but with the graphics that I was seeing, from like I think ESPN and a couple different apparently supposedly legitimate sites that are like, yeah, that's it gets the perfect spot for that red zone fade for some dude to just get waylaid by the wall.
Awesome.
I'm hoping it happens. All right, go ahead.
All right, Alabama at Oklahoma. This is the game that ends Brett Venables' career at Oklahoma. All right, this is an Oklahoma squad that came into the year feeling pretty hot about themselves, having a good recruiting year, recruiting good in the offseason. They are going to get shellacked by
1-5 right now in the SEC.
They are going to wish they had never left the Southwest Conference.
He's going way back. I like it.
All right. Oklahoma is going to absolutely get dominated. This is an Alabama squad that is making their case for the committee to choose them if they don't win the SEC championship, to keep them in the playoff. Alabama's going to
right now. I'm putting Alabama cover and the over just on that rant. Just because of that rant.
I would take that. I genuinely think this is an Alabama team that they've been rocked by a couple of rough losses. And they're coming in and they're looking at the conference championship from the outside, which they haven't done in decades.
And you got a coach that's trying to fill the shoes of Nick Saban, trying to prove a point, and they are still very much in the conversation. So yeah, I think you're right. And Oklahoma,
they just won't have it this year.
I'm no fan of Alabama, but I want Oklahoma to lose so convincingly at home.
Their next game after this is at LSU, so they might not be bowl eligible in their first season in conference. And you know who is bowl eligible in the SEC? Vanderbilt.
Boom.
Vanderbilt, the commies of Nashville. All right, 2 games left. All right, we got Texas A&M at Auburn. Texas A&M is still a one-loss team in conference. Losing this game opens this wide up. However, if Texas A&M were to lose this week, they'd have to play someone not named Auburn. They will win. They will cover the spread. Marcel Reed is somehow going to look like a NFL caliber quarterback, even though he's really just Taysom Hill with a slightly better haircut. Iowa State.
It's all the same haircut down there in the Southeast, though.
Oh, yeah. Auburn's not going to even come close to covering. I don't understand what this obsession with Jordan-Hare Stadium is. It is not a tough place to play unless you are Alabama. All right? Auburn is going to roll over.
Well, that's because that's cousin on cousin down there.
It really is. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's wedding season, baby season. Everything's going on. Iowa State at Utah. Iowa State is going to win this. This is going to be the last one of the season. I don't think this is an Iowa State squad that is strong enough to beat Kansas State next week, but they're going to try and put up a good enough show this week to stay in the contention in the Big 12. It's not going to hold, but they're going to have a little bit of hope for another week.
All right.
Those are my picks. I am going to go to bed because I got to be up at 6. So I will see y'all in a week.
I think we need that every week.
Yeah, that was great.
That was amazing.
I can give you guys a speed run.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Next week I'll hit you with NFL too.
Boom. I like it.
All right.
Later, dude.
Later.
Sure.
All right. That was
killer.
That was electrifying.
Yeah. You gotta clip that up for Instagram, man.
Yeah. That's gonna be I'm gonna expect that every week now.
You set the bar high. All right.
Yeah. But I am taking that. I'm taking Bama minus 13.5 and over 47.5. I'm gonna put $10 on it right now. I like that bet a lot. And that's a little bit of a emotional pick because I've never been a fan of the Sooners, and I would love to see them lose big to Alabama at home. All right, so we left off Ravens Steelers. That was a good game. Nothing but field goals for the Steelers. Come out 18-16. That's a classic NFC North game.
Can you switch the page over?
Oh,
thank you. So that game had me so nervous. I don't know. First of all, I got Lamar Jackson fantasy, and that was killer.
Oh, that's tough.
But like also just that game was just so close, and I mean, it was very exciting, even though pretty low scoring.
Yeah, it was it was a good game. Like
maybe not exciting, tense.
Yeah, but if you like defensive football, I mean that was a fucking great game. Yeah, the Steelers, man, I don't know what they are for odds to win the Super Bowl right now, but that's not a bad little pick. They look good. That defense is nasty. Russell Wilson is just like good enough.
Yeah, they're better than I thought. Like, I figure they're making the playoffs, but not gonna go on a run now. It kind of looks like it. Although they seriously have the Ravens number. I think they beat them like 8 of the last 10 or something.
I think so.
Something real bad.
Like they have that little chip on their shoulder. Like, nah, we're the actual beast of the NFC or the AFC North. So like, fuck off, dude. Like they it's one of those things where like, I don't know. It's like the Denver Kansas City matchup. It just who's the home team, because that's probably who's gonna win. And even when like there's a shitty team, like pick the underdog to cover that score, because it just, I don't know, for whatever the rivalries aren't nearly as intense in the NFL, but that's one of them. The Ravens, Ravens Steelers.
I mean, that's a good one. So like over those last 10 games, I don't think I think neither team scored over 20 like more than once or something like that.
Yeah.
So like take the under on these two.
Yeah.
Take the Steelers in the under.
Yeah. For real. It's like, I don't know. For it, as far as the NFL goes, that's one of those real type of rivalries. Broncos at the Falcons. Bo Nix is really like legit might be the rookie of the year. I've been talking him up all year, mostly as just a joke, because I'm that's kind of what the Broncos have been for the last since the last Super Bowl. Like, they've been just kind of a joke. But I mean, and he started out as god awful, but I mean, here the last couple of weeks, he's playing out of his mind, putting up some points. Broncos they swept the NFC South, which means nothing. NFC South sucks, but they're in wild card contention.
Yeah, on Bo Nix, I think the Athletic posted something I saw today, putting his stats against. Actually, I don't really know. I think maybe Caleb Williams, but just a side by side without names, and so they had people guess like, oh, which one or who do you like more, and who are the people? And like most people picked Bo Nix and didn't realize it's Bo Nix.
Yeah, no, he's like I said, he started out really dog shit, but
yeah, but I mean like. Jordan Love did too last year. Last year, his first year as a starter. Like, just because you're first year, like, yeah, you're not expected to be
well, and
great,
he's
like,
just
day one,
and he's just like continually got better. And now, like, where the Falcons have a pretty good defense. I mean, coming into that game, you're like, I don't know, they're a pretty good team, but. I mean, they're kind of on a slide, but like nobody thought the Broncos were really going to be good this year, and I mean,
no, they're turning around in the last 2 weeks.
So it's
I hate to see it.
Man, it's like 3 weeks in a row I've had Bo Nix on my bench on fantasy football, and he's put up like 25 or better every week. But I've got Jaden Daniels as my other quarterback. So I'm like, I mean, and so on the opposite end, like Daniels started off scorching hot, and then now he's kind of come back down to earth, and he's still a good quarterback, but Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's crazy how they. I would say, I mean, they're kind of right at the terminal point there, where they're right on about the same. If you compare them side by side, I mean, the rookie of the year case is kind of 50-50.
Yeah, I think you'd have to like keep it up to.
Yeah,
like, he can't. He's got to stay. He's got to do what he's been doing the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's got to win
it. But if he does that, like maybe, yeah, I think he probably should.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him, because AFC West has turned into a pretty damn good conference outside of the Raiders, and the NFC East is. I mean, it's the Redskins and the Eagles. That's kind of it. So everybody else is garbage. Did you see they brought Tommy DeVito back for the Giants?
This is so sad.
Drew Lock must have pissed somebody off in the NFL, because he's not getting any chances.
Probably Broncos fans at least.
Yeah, but yeah, he's got a guy with a mob boss for an agent, and it still lives at home with his mom cooking chicken cutlet for him. Starting over him, I was like, freaking Giants! What a train wreck.
One last thing about Nix, I saw that he's the first rookie to ever post 80% efficiency, 300 yards, and 4 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, that's wild. Like that, he put on a clinic against the Falcons, and like I said, that they're 6-5 team, but I mean they've had a pretty good defense all year, and he fucking torched them. And
dope.
Yeah, it's Sean Payton's looking pretty good right now. Like he's got his guy clicking when he, when it's starting to matter a lot. So we'll see how it turns out. The Niners, what the fuck are they done?
Yeah, they're done. I mean, McCaffrey's back. They lost this game. That might sink them on the year.
I think so too. And this is a game where they
should have.
They've kind of dominated the Seahawks for a while now.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey's put up decent games. I mean, they're not bomb burners.
Yeah, but it's not as normal.
No,
game,
no. I mean, they're okay. Don't get me wrong. I've got him on fantasy, so I know he's doing okay. But
I'm just saying this week it wasn't as normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Niners missed their window. And
I mean, well, fuck, never mind. They're still right in it.
Yeah, they're only a game out of it.
I was like, they're in last place, but there's 3 teams there's 3 teams at 5-5, and then the Cards at 6-4.
Yeah,
so they're a game out. They're right back. Yeah, they got it, but they got to fix their shit.
Well, and the Cardinals got Kyler Murray, who could be amazing one game and then just like not do shit the next. So like, I don't know, that division is by far the most wide open.
It is. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is getting a little bit more consistent touches. So hopefully for them, that means that him and Kyler are getting a little bit better rapport. So maybe that inconsistency evens out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get that guy the ball though.
Well, and they are. I mean, they're getting it to him finally. So
yeah, and
fucking feed him,
Yeah, I mean that guy's he was bred to play football, and at a high level, and he's done nothing but do that. So just throw the ball to him, And it seems like they figured it out finally, but I don't know what took him so long.
I mean, he's a rookie too. Like, just
that's true. It could be. Bills beat the Chiefs. Give the Chiefs their first loss of the season. I mean, it was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. Josh Allen is man, I don't know if he ever wins one, but he should. I mean, he's the next generation Jim Kelly. That's what he is.
Yeah, Jim Kelly win one?
No, I don't think so.
How did he lose? A few, but
yeah. I mean, like, was it 5 in a row or some shit like that?
I think it's 4.
4 in a row. Yeah.
I don't know. You might be right that they just. I don't know. I mean, if they're gonna win one, like now's the right time because I think it's gonna start.
Yeah,
start losing some pieces soon.
I thought this was the year where it was gonna kind of fall apart for them, but they're playing well, and but I mean this we've seen this shit before. They beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and I don't know. And by all means, Josh Allen beat them in the playoffs, and then his defense lost it in the last 13 seconds. You're like, fuck, man. What else do you want him to do?
He's an unlucky motherfucker. Like,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a great win for the Bills, but yeah, I don't know. You got to do it in the playoffs. I think they were showing a stat that I think Josh Allen's 3-1 against Mahomes in the regular season, and then 0-3 in the playoffs. And it's like the old Brady Manning rivalry. Like Manning had that stretch in the playoffs where he lost to Brady. I don't know, like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, well, little bro got him back.
Yeah, little bro, fucking doofy, got himself a Hall of Fame by beating Tom Brady twice. You ever watch that Manning cast on Monday Night Football?
Did I not send you that clip?
I think so. Yeah, I love the Manning cast. It's not always great if you're actually following the football because you have those fucking talking about how it started out funny anyways, and then Archie just I think they weighed him after he was circumcised.
It started out with he's like, me and Cooper were like 10 pounds something.
Yeah.
Or 12 pounds, and Eli was
only 10.
I don't know shit about babies, but that seems big.
That's a massive baby. Massive baby.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought. But they're like, oh, do you think something's wrong with him? They're like, yeah, a little bit, but we weighed him after we circumcised him. So who knows? They're like, damn.
It was like 45 seconds solid of Peyton doing the silent laugh. Oh, yeah. I love the Manning cast. Good shit. Bengals at the Chargers. Chargers are a wagon, and nobody's talking about them. Like they're
boring.
They're really boring, but I don't want to play them. Like and no. I don't know who they got left, but yeah, like that's a scary team to play. Now they're putting up some points too. I mean, they put up 34, but like they've went all season winning like 10-7.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should start betting on them. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, it is Jim Harbaugh, so I put some respect on it. But it is the Chargers, and this is when they fall apart. So we'll see.
True.
We'll see. Bengals, they're out. but they're going to play spoiler, I think. I don't see them.
Crow's so good fucking quarterback.
He's a great quarterback.
You can put it together and ruin someone's season here late.
Yeah, I don't see them. I think they
have to run the table to get to playoffs.
I think so too, and I don't see that happening. But I do see them ruining somebody's season. T. Higgins was back. He put up 9 for 148 and a touchdown. I had him on fantasy too. And then Jamar Chase is just a fucking animal. The Cowboys suck. Oof.
Fuck, they suck.
I almost took a parlay for Texans plus 7.5 and over. I think the over was 40.5, and I almost took it. But I did it in the teaser instead. So it was Texans plus a half, and I think it was over 34.5, something like that. But I took a prop bet, and that paid out 5-1, so that worked out good.
I took a big motherfucker. All right, I missed a plus 1275 parlay. I didn't even see what the final was. I needed Stroud for 2 touchdowns.
Fuck!
Did you just throw one?
Yeah, I think Mixon ran for 2 or 3. 3. Yeah. I think he caught one and ran for 2. I did overs on receptions for Mechie and I think it was Mechie and Tank Dell. I did the over on the passing yards for Stroud and Mixon for anytime touchdown. Nice. And that was I think it was plus 500.
Texans to cover over Cooper Rush for plus 175 yards and Stroud for plus 225. Just needed him one more fucking touchdown.
Son of a those parlays.
Also like. Yeah, I know, but like Stroud for 2 touchdowns seemed like a.
I know it seemed like a lock. I almost took that. I just went for the yards instead. I almost went under, but I was like, I saw Nico Collins was back, so I was like, it seems, and it's the Cowboys. It feels like they're just gonna sling it around a little bit. Like the Cowboys giving up, and I love it.
What made me nervous is that they're just gonna get up quick and then just stop.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't. It was great. It was I love to see the Cowboys losing in prime time. And
they're done for the season, and it's falling apart.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I was watching McAfee earlier, and I didn't catch the start of the game. I think I started watching it just before half. But apparently there was like chunks of sheet metal like falling off the roof of the stadium. And
what? Is that Jerry World?
At Jerry World.
Damn! I only caught the second half.
Yeah, I was listening to Pat McAfee just like a couple hours ago, and I was like, holy shit! And it was like not long ago. They were like Jerry World's like the most marvelous,
house.
Yeah, it was Jerry World, and I mean they just sold it out for that lame ass Mike Tyson fight. I don't know, but yeah, apparently there was chunks of sheet metal falling off the roof. I was like, God. It couldn't have happened to a better team. And I kind of like Jerry Jones. I mean, I don't.
Oh, I hate him.
I like him in the same way that I like Trump. He just cracks me the fuck up. I like him as a character, not so much as a person. I just love him as a character. And it just like it just added to it. I was like, of course it would at Jerry Jones's, multi-billion-dollar stadium just starts falling apart after not that long at all.
Yeah, right. Also, I mean, there's some really old ass stadiums, and they're not falling apart.
I just drove by the Oakland Coliseum the other day. It's still going strong. Like it's still there. And I don't know. It's wild, but
I wouldn't say that the Oakland Stadium's going strong. Like it's
there. It's there. And as far as I know, chunks of metal aren't falling off. So that it's got that. But also, nobody's playing there, so
they don't have that much traffic in the stands.
No, I got no particular love for Oakland, but I always kind of liked the A's. Just that they had the rowdy fans, so I always kind of liked them. But it is still pretty. It was really funny just driving by it, and you're just like, what?
So I was hoping for. I think they announced maybe last week or the week before that Tampa can't go back, and they're going to be playing at the Yankees like AA.
Oh yeah,
like something.
Yeah, or like a spring training facility or something.
Maybe. Is it spring training? I don't know. But
I'm not sure what it is, but
it's like Steinbrenner Field. It's funny. So now Steinbrenner Field is now the highest paid player on the Rays at $15 million. But I was really hoping that the Rays would be like, fuck it, let's just go play in Oakland for a year until the stadium.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Back.
Fuck yeah!
Especially if they drew a crowd.
Oh, I bet they could get the screaming deal on it too. I bet you the A's faithful would show up too, because I mean, just like what?
Just a fuck you to the A's ownership.
And it's baseball. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
That would be funny as shit just to see like a bunch of A's fans with a Ray taped over their hat. not even buying a new hat, just taping something over it. All right, so Thursday we got the Steelers at the Browns. Normally I'd say that who cares, but it's one of those division games that always turns out pretty chippy.
Bro, 3.5 point spread, like it seems like easy money.
It does. It also feels like a trap. Yeah. I'm gonna take that in a teaser, crossover, and take Pittsburgh plus 3.5 or probably plus 3, and then I'm gonna go with a over of 30. I think a 30 or 30.5, something like that. I'm not confident on that over, but
that seems pretty reasonable. I mean,
it seems like it, but the
Steelers got a pretty big offense, and the Browns put up some points last week.
That's true. I mean,
they lost, but they put up some points.
I don't like that. I don't like the spread. I don't trust it. I'm going to take that in the teaser. Yeah, that could be a fun game, honestly, but
especially if like Jameis is slinging the ball around too.
Yeah. I mean, it could be fun. It could be a dog shit game, but it could be fun. We'll see. Vikings at the Bears. Man, Caleb Williams is so bad. Like, I know he has no offensive line, but he is just not very good.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one, like 3.5 point spread. Come on.
Yeah, also seems like a trap because it seems too easy. This
one ain't too easy. I'm just taking it.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so low, but yeah, I'm going to take that all day long. Over 39.5. Yeah, I like that for sure. I might take that a parlay too. Vikings to cover and the over. Lions at the Colts. This one's interesting.
I mean, Detroit's going to cover that.
I think so. But if the Colts make a game out of it, I think they might be for real. I don't see it happening though.
The total seems like an over pretty easy.
Well, yeah, I think Detroit's beat that over by themselves the last 2 weeks in a row. So.
Yeah.
I think the over is fine. I like Detroit to cover that too, but as far as like playoff implications, I think if the Colts get blown out, they're done. They're not coming back from that, I don't think. But if they make a close game of it, I don't think they win either way, but if they make it a game, they're still in the conversation, I think.
I mean, they're probably still in the conversation, but I think if they lost this one, they're gonna win out almost.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think if they lose by 2 scores, I mean they're done. I don't see them coming back from that. And that's 2 scores is a lot, but still, the Lions have been just curb stomping people here lately. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no. Well, they're not even. Yeah, they don't take the foot off the gas. They're just gonna like, we're gonna fuck you up all game. And I mean, I guess they put in their B team, but they still were putting up points last week.
Well, and then they came back against the Texans, who are a really good team, and I don't know. I just if the Lions win big, the Colts they're dead.
Yeah.
Dolphins Patriots, man, this used to be a fun game, and I mean, I guess if you got nothing else to watch, but there's other games on.
Dude, since that snow game in like 2001, I've never wanted to watch Patriots game since. So
yeah,
that's when they were good. So fuck them now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, there's some.
Oh, the Dolphins are actually fun offense.
Like I said, if there was nothing else on to watch, I'd watch this. But there's better games for sure. Going on at the same time. I mean,
yeah,
Buccaneers Giants is actually kind of intriguing. I mean, Tommy DeVito did pretty good for him. I don't buy him as a real quarterback, but I don't know. He's also kind of a fan favorite, so and it's at home. You could.
I probably won't bet it because of the quarterback switch.
Yeah, I probably won't either. But I mean, I won't be surprised if this is a good game. I wouldn't be that surprised if New York wins it. Tampa's kind of. They've really I wouldn't even say underperformed, but they've got really unlucky, it seems like.
Maybe. I don't know.
And maybe they might just not be as good as I thought they were.
I think they probably are, and this is just a little down year after a nice, like, surprise year last year.
Yeah. I mean, Baker Mayfield's playing out of his mind, and they're definitely not out of it, but they're I expected them to be like a 6-4 rather than a 4-6.
Yeah, exactly. Which I guess that could be a couple like bad losses or something.
Well, I mean they had
close losses. I mean,
they had a walk-off loss to the Falcons, and then they lost big to the Broncos. It is so weird. The Broncos beat every team in the NFC South this year, and they beat them by 2 scores or more, I think. I don't know.
Conference realignment, man. You guys might be good again.
I guess. I don't know. The Giants are terrible. the conference I think the division will be good for a while, but they're until Patty Mahomes until Patty Mahomes is gone, there ain't anybody else winning the division, I don't think.
No.
They'll
make it too good. No one else is like, yeah, the Broncos are having like an okay season. The Chargers seem like they're all right. Sure shit it could be the Raiders, but like none of those teams need like several pieces.
Yeah.
Several huge pieces to like take them to the top of
Pat
Mahomes. Cause
you've got to have a perfect team to beat Pat Mahomes, and then you also got to hope the refs aren't against you that day too.
Yeah.
Which they probably will be, seems like. I don't know. I don't buy that. But the Giants suck. But I don't know. Like I said, Tommy DeVito did pretty good for him last year. Tommy Cutlets. Not that the Giants are ever going to be anything good this year, but I wouldn't be surprised to pull them out. Tampa's at 5.5 on the spread.
I'm saying
it seems like honestly, it's not a good betting game. Neither is this next one. Cowboys at the Commanders, Redskins. Washington's minus 10.5.
That's a big ass spread.
That's a huge spread in the NFL. I won't be surprised if they cover it because the Cowboys are awful, but I'm not betting that. Over at 45.5. I don't mind that. Might throw it in a parlay or something. Chiefs at the Panthers. Another 10.5 point spread. That one should hit, but once again, I don't
think so. I might take the Panthers to cover that just because the Chiefs don't tend to blow people out. They win by
That's true.
a score or two.
I was looking up the other day, and last like several years, the Chiefs are notoriously bad against the spread. They win a lot, but they don't. Yeah, you're right. They don't blow people out, and particularly not this year. Like Mahomes is having kind of an average year. He just he pulls shit out when he has to. It's not a bad call. Either way, that like 10.5. That's a big spread. I don't hate the Panthers to cover. 42.5. I'll stay away from that. Like this could be a 10-3 game or 10-6, 10-9, something like that. I mean, I don't know. It's Chiefs got a good defense too, so if anything, I like the under. And if you take the Chiefs in this game, I would take it I would take it down to 3.5 on the spread.
Yeah. I mean, not that I think it would happen, but I think I've been betting the Chiefs a lot this year. I usually take the other team to cover the spread, and then if the Chiefs get down, on like the first drive, like if they just don't, then maybe I'll take them to cover like a live spread, comes down a few points.
Yeah,
because they always because like they do that, they come back a lot, and they don't, but they don't win by that much.
Well, they come out real lackadaisical and they get down. Chiefs live lines as a Chiefs money line during the game when they're down. That's always a good bet. I've got them at like plus 800 before.
Fuck.
Let's see. Okay. But I mean, they got to be down quite a bit by then. But either way, they're
fair enough.
They're that. Yeah, I like Chiefs live lines a lot. I do that quite a bit. Titans at the Texans. Houston -8. over under at 41.5. 8's a lot, but Texans should cover that. Titans are terrible. 41.5. I kind of like the under on that.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially given like the Texans' last few games, they haven't scored a ton.
Yeah. Teaser wise, I would take that down to Houston -2 and under 46.5. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Broncos Raiders in Vegas. Denver -5.5. Take the Raiders to cover that. The Raiders suck. The Broncos are coming on, but these are always.
But it's not quite as close when it's been in Vegas.
That's true. Like Vegas isn't the Raiders don't have like a true home field advantage.
No. I mean, like the Black Hole was like one of the best ones.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
league, and Vegas is probably the worst.
I always hated when the Broncos played there, but I always loved watching it because, it's intense, or it was. Yeah. And, 5.5. I don't know. That's still a lot. I don't know if I take the Raiders to cover, but I don't know if I take Denver to cover either. 41.5. Yeah, give me 41.5. Huh? I'll take the over. Broncos money line for sure, but that's not going to be a good value. Niners at the Packers.
Fuck.
Green Bay 2.5 over under at 47.5. What's the weather like?
I mean, I'd take Niners outright money line.
You think so?
Packers are so fucking bad against the Niners.
That's true. And
the Niners need this really bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Niners, they're struggling right now. I agree with that. 2.5. I like the under, honestly.
Yeah, the under's not bad. It looks like the weather there says it's gonna be 40s, 46. So
46. It's not too cold. I still kind of like that under. I'm not as confident with it being in the 40s, but I still like that. You think the Packers lose it, huh?
I think so, but also, like, I'm hedging myself here. Either lose my bet or my team loses. So at least I go 50. I'm guaranteed 50-50 here.
There you go. I'm gonna go with your knowledge of the Packers and how if they play that's one of those things that it's weird how like you could have like complete turnover of the team from year to year, and that's still like some of those games are just like even when you have a clearly better team, you just don't do well against another one. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, this goes back like 40 years almost for the 49ers Packers.
Yeah, and it makes no sense at all. There's no real good explanation. It's just one of those things that happens. So, all right, I'll take your knowledge on that. I'll go Niners. Niners plus 2.5. That's what I'm
do. Okay. This one's so close. Like I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll mess around with some individual.
Yeah, I think prop bets are good. I wouldn't say they're a good bet, but they're a better. I
mean, not -1 is like not like barely even a.
They're just
I'm probably getting like whatever minus like 105 or something like that money.
Yeah, you're looking at a pick'em plus. They're giving they're giving the edge to the Seahawks just because the home field and Seattle's a tough place to play. So 47.5 seems about right.
Vegas is good at setting the.
But yeah. I also I've seen both of these teams put up nothing. I mean, the Cardinals are far more likely to put up big points than the Seahawks, I think. But
okay, does that roof close?
Well, they're in does Seattle have a roof?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They kind of got like the like overhang over the top of the stands, but I didn't know if it closed at all. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
It's going to rain a lot.
Okay.
Seattle this weekend. So
take the under. Then.
Maybe that takes the under and maybe gives Seattle a little bit of an edge.
Yeah. Connor's been playing well, but Kenneth Walker, he's a third, I think. Kenneth Walker, the third, is also really good in the backfield. So, yeah, I like if it's going to be raining, I definitely like the under. Then we got Eagles at the Rams. The Rams are coming on. Everybody seems to be like they finally got healthy, and they're playing pretty good football right now. The Eagles are looking really good. Saquon Barkley's just a man-child.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought he was about done. Man, he's killing
he's doing some shit over there. Philly -3 over under at 48.5. I kind of like the under in this game.
Rams have a nice defense.
Not necessarily a nice defense, but I think I don't know. Whatever. I don't have a really good reason for it, but I kind of like the under. And then Philly -3. I don't know how this game goes. I gut instinct says Philly wins, but it seems like a game where who's in the backfield for the Rams? They don't really have.
Rams? That's a really good question.
Because I don't. I mean, I don't recall any of their running backs, which is not a great sign.
Right. Karen Williams.
Okay, well he's okay, but the Rams put up points, but it's I mean they got Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and there was somebody else that they had, but they're a pass first team, and they can put up points pretty quick. So I think the Eagles rely on Saquon and Jalen Hurts on his legs.
Just eat up time and wear him down.
Yeah, so that's why I guess that'd be why I like the under. Like I said, gut tells me the Eagles should win this game, but I don't know. The Rams have been looking pretty good here lately, so I like the under. That's about all I like on that game. Maybe some props. Whatever the over on yardage for Saquon is probably pretty good.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
And then Stafford, like passing attempts, probably about the same. Monday night we got Ravens at Chart. This is a good game.
That would be fun. I'm taking Baltimore -3 here. I think they're coming out like real strong after
the
Steelers last week.
49.5, I think, seems way high. Give me the under on that. I think this is like a 17-14 game or something like that.
Ooh, I mean, it could be. I don't know. The Ravens just have such a big offense too.
They do, but you got Jim Harbaugh, and their defense is pretty good. Their run game is good, and yeah, I mean this seems like a Jim Harbaugh type of game. Well, it's the Harbaugh Bowl.
I was just about to say, I couldn't remember where Johnny went.
Yeah, so it's the Harbaugh Bowl. It's just gonna be it's gonna be smash mouth, hit you in the face football. The Ravens do have a better offense, but 49.5 seems ridiculous. As far as over under,
I mean, that's big. That's pretty big for NFL.
And these two teams in particular, I don't buy it. I think this is going to be a defensive match.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though.
I am too. Yeah, and then the Harbaugh angle, but like those two know each other really well. So I think it's just like if they could have 52 fullbacks on their team, I think they both would. I don't like the spread, but yeah, I'm hammering the under on that game, like hard on the under.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I'll take that as well. I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing. I'm going back and forth here. I'll probably choose right before the game starts, but maybe I take like an alternate spread or something.
That's not a bad bet. I don't know what they
alternate total.
Yeah. It's not a bad bet. I'm looking forward to that game though. That seems like a fun just like smash mouth type of game.
Yeah, they did a good job scheduling that one too. Late in the season.
Fuck yeah.
Get the brothers going against each other.
Yeah.
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, we did 3 hours again. That's all right though. This was a fun one. I'm really looking forward to the Hall of Fame deal. I'll get the guys and we'll try to schedule that here in the next month or so, but I think that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have some downtime next week when I'm out on vacation. So I think I'm gonna use it to go look up like everyone's Jaws and whatever War 7 and some other like Hall of Fame kind of indicators.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's gonna be fun, and there's just gonna be. We can have the numbers, and then there's also just going to be a bunch of baseball dudes just arguing about who's a bum and who's not, and that's the best part of it.
Aaron getting all mad about numbers.
I'm just going to drop little seeds between Aaron and Rob to just get them. Oh shit! I got the theme song for the week. Bo Nix just, throwing footballs over mountains.
Awesome.
Is it playing?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Oh, I couldn't hear it. All right, well, let me put it on my phone.
I can hear it again. I don't know if you...
It's one of those things where it doesn't come through on my end, even though I uploaded the motherfucker. I can hear you speaking. I don't know why. I feel like such a boomer when these things. I can't explain why it's not happening. I know why it should, and I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bo Nix throwing fire, burning up the field. Rookie making waves, no secrets revealed. Broncos riding high, mile high, freaking wild. Football flying fast, got the whole crowd beguiled. Leaving Caleb in the dust, showing who's the boss. Nix has got that flair, no hesitation, no pause. Rockies quake beneath each throw, my friend. Every game another chapter in the legend he penned. Burning daylight sports, tune in, feel the breeze. Nix on the rise, bringing
it's not a good song once again, but it's fascinating how it's gotten better every time.
I mean, none of these have been good, but they are amusing.
Yeah, I mean, like, the beats typically aren't terrible, but the lyrics are never good, but they're, like, I guess relevant anyways. Like, they somewhat make sense. I don't know. It's
talked about Bo Nix winning. Like, okay, I like it.
It's strange. It's strange. It's a weird world we're living in, but we're living in it. So, you got anything else?
No, not really.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for tuning in, and move your ass. We're burning daylight.